Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Dune Awakening content. I'm so excited today, folks, to be here with you, and I want to talk about a subject that's really near and dear to my heart as a guild leader. It is, why are guilds important in Dune Awakening? So, if you want to talk about why guilds are important, you need to understand that guilds can enhance your gameplay experience. The game of Dune Awakening is built to allow you to either play solo, if that's what you choose, or play in groups called guilds. If you want to choose to play solo, I don't want to downplay that, because a lot of people enjoy that. They just want to get into a game, they want to play solo, they want to run around, do their own thing, they want to collect their resources, they want to build their base, they just want to be left alone, you know, play the market, maybe talk to some people in game chat if they want once in a while when they find something interesting they want to, you know, talk about. But for those players that want to play solo, that's a completely viable gameplay option. So if that's what you want, then don't feel like I'm being negative against your gameplay style. But I feel like, in my opinion, guilds are the most important mechanic in any MMO, because let's face it, it's a massively multiplayer online game, which means that for most games and their servers, there's going to be thousands of players that you can interact with. So that's why joining a group is important. Yes, you could just join your own guild and be a single player guild, and then you could reap some of the benefits of being in a guild by doing that. But you're missing out on a lot of things. Being in a group gives you the sense of family. It gives you, if you're in a good one, I guess I should, you know, throw out that caveat there. Your experience, your mileage may vary if you join a bad one, but let's talk about the good ones, okay? If you join a guild group that's a good guild group, it can give you a sense of family. It is important in a game of this style to feel like you have a place to belong, whether it's through just being part of a faction and now you take place in the story or quest lines. But being in a guild group gives you the ability to feel like you have a place in the world, to feel like hopefully if the group is good, feel like your contribution matters, feel like you matter to the overall group experience that you're having. In this game, you can see on that graphic right there, this guild has 2 of 32 members, so that means that the cap on the guilds at this time is 32 members. We do not know if there's the ability to ally with other guilds and then be united, that type of thing. We don't know anything about that yet. A lot of that'll come later whenever we get more information, but the ability to have up to 32 people in a group is a really good size, I feel. I feel like if most of those 32 are active quite frequently, you should have a good experience, because that should give you a pretty deep player base to be able to interact with people that are of the same mindset as you. In my guild, I don't want to give away the name of my guild yet, because we haven't reached release and I haven't been able to actually lock in that name. So sorry, I'm not going to spoil that. It's really special to me. But if you're part of a group, then that gives you a way to enrich your game experience. You can do like what I'm planning to do with my guild. I'm going to structure it around a team type structure, to where utilizing the different areas of the game that are presented to us, like PvE, PvP, exploring in the deep desert, crafting, building, economy. I'm going to form groups within the guild that players can decide to, if they want to, participate in, so that they can be grouped up with like-minded people that want to do the same kind of content they do. And it is my hope that through that design, I can foster a really good play experience for the people that have decided to join me in Dune Awakening. So it gives you the ability, if you get a good guild leader, and I'm not trying to sit here and tout my own horn and say, hey, I'm the best guild leader ever made, my God. I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just saying, if you get a hold of somebody that's really passionate about running and leading your guild that you're a part of, it can really expand and enhance your experience in Dune Awakening and in any MMO or game that you can play in a group. You'll see that it will just greatly enhance your experience, I feel. Now, you can also, like I said earlier, you can get a bad experience, and that can jade you against guilds for sure, but hopefully you have a good experience. One of the next reasons why I feel guilds are important in Dune Awakening is it gives you people to do certain types of content with. And what do I mean by that? Well, there is certain PvE questing areas that will be difficult, and they may be too hard for a single player, but because you're part of a group, you now have the ability to get on the mic and call for backup. Say, hey guys, I need a squad over here at this science exploration laboratory. These NPCs are kicking my butt. I need some help. Boom, you form up a group of 4 people, you go in there and you face roll that content, you own all that loot, and you're golden. But you don't have that ability to easily group up with a set of like-minded people that are familiar with playing with each other and familiar with each other's play styles. So those random groups that you join in game can be very chaotic and just not really a good experience. But when you're familiar with the people that you're playing with, you can get to know how they roll. You can set up different synergies among your archetypes in your group. You may have one Mentat, one Trooper, one, Bene Gesserit, and you shape your skills around the party to make you more effective in the content. But the fact that I'm trying to get across is that being part of that group gives you that ability to have people to do that content with that you can rely on and you can trust. If you're part of a good guild, you don't have to worry about somebody ninja looting all the loot, and it's just a better experience in all. The next reason why I feel a guild experience is best, in my opinion, is that it gives you, if you have a well-managed guild that has given some thought into the process of storing and banking resources, crafting components, crafted gear, equipment that you may need, armor, weapons, vehicles, those type of things. It gives you access to those resources that you may not have on your own. If you're solo, you can gather everything in the game, I'm sure, but it's a lot harder for one person to do the task that 32 like-minded people can do when they're, fired up and ready to go and firing on all cylinders. When a group of people are fired up and working off all cylinders, man, they can really churn through some resource gathering. They can really churn through some crafting and make a ton of stacks of consumables and make a ton of gear and a ton of weapons, and that gives you the ability to have access to that you wouldn't have otherwise. Yes, as a solo player, you could just buy everything off the exchange and you could get it easily that way, but you have to then go farm the currency to be able to do that, to live that lifestyle. It is possible, but being in a group is just so much more efficient in those kinds of situations. And I think you will find that as you explore in the realm of Arrakis, you will understand that having that ability to rely on that guild bank to get you off your feet, having members that can craft you really good gear because you're not really into the crafting scene, but they are. So now guess what? You have the ability to have access to those resources that you need because of your dependence on your team. And that's what I'm going for with my group. I'm looking for to build that team synergy mindset so that everybody has a role that they're happy with and love doing, and then can contribute to the guild, and then the guild can take all those resources that those individualized groups have made and turn around and turn them into something really fantastic for the player base. And wow, I just had a massive thunderstorm start in my area. So if you hear some lightning and some thunder while I'm recording, I'm going to try to get through this before I lose power. Wow, this is crazy. Anyway, let's go on to the next point that I think is super important for the reason why you want to be in a guild in Dune Awakening. And in this game specifically, there is a mechanic that's built into the game called the Lancre. What that is that's basically a political system that if your guild pledges allegiance to one of the factions in the game, right now we know that there's Atreides and Harkonnen. Obviously, this is Dune, so those are the main key factions in the game. But at this time, we know that they have announced that there will be a third faction, but they have not said what it is. So there's a lot of speculation out there, is it this, is it that, type of thing. But right now we know that there are two different factions that your guild can align themselves with and pledge allegiance to. What that does is that gives you access to the political system in the game and allows you to complete quests for quest givers of that faction to build up points to allow you to, it's basically like a bingo system. And when your quest giver for the Atreides faction says, bring me 50 ornithopters and I will give you political sway in the Landsrat, you can then do that as a group or as a faction out in the world, complete that task, and then boom, you have points towards getting a bingo. And hopefully your faction will win control for the week of the political system, which will then allow you to set bonuses or penalties for everyone else out in the world for the week, like reduced crafting costs or full loot PvP dropping now because of the faction that has set the desired result. But that's something that's super cool, and you can only participate in that if you are a member of a guild. So they've given you the desire or the impetus to kick you in the pants and say, hey, get part of a group. Yes, you can. Like I mentioned earlier, you can make yourself a one-player guild that you're a part of if that's what you're into, and you can still participate in the Landsred. But the ability to do that is only available to you if you're part of a guild and you have pledged allegiance to a faction. So that's one reason why it's important, and it's really cool to see that the game has built these mechanics into the gameplay to kind of encourage you to go be a part of the the greater environment and social culture of the game. One of the last reasons I want to talk about when I'm talking about why it's important to be in a guild in Dune Awakening is the fact that you can have access to lots of people that are really experts in the type of content that they love the most. You can have people in your guild that are dedicated crafters that focus on crafting, and that's what they really love to do, and they know all the tips and the tricks and the techniques and the most efficient ways to make those items, to utilize those modular pieces to build things that are really good for you to use equipment-wise or gear or weapon-wise. And they may know the secrets that you'll never figure out on your own if you're not somebody that's interested in crafting. So, for example, they could teach you the ways of crafting and be like a mentor or, somebody that teaches you. You could also have people, for example, that are supreme PvP battlers, and they teach you the ways of running in a squad or positioning or, muzzle direction and control and, how to fight as a group and how to utilize skill combinations to synergize with each other to make really effective teams. That's something you're not going to have access to unless you're part of a guild, because then you'll have those people in your guild that you can go to and you can say, hey, can I be part of your PvP squad, and will you teach me how to be a better fighter, type of thing. And because you're in a guild, you have access to those people. You have access to people who really thrive on the economy, and they know the ins and the outs of finding those deals and flipping those items for the profit, and they can teach you how to do those things. You have people that love to build, and they know through experience in other games ways ways to make funky builds that you're just like, wow, that blows my mind. Look at that base. It's hanging off the side of a cliff 50 feet up in the air, and it has 16 levels on it and all these, you know, ornithopter platforms and domes and spires, and those are things that you can learn from people that are in your guild, which will then help you become a better player and enjoy your experience more. So that's kind of what I wanted to get across with this video. I want to talk to people about why it's important to be in a guild in Dune Awakening, because the game is kind of built around that for the most part. Yes, you can be solo if you want, but I feel that the experience in a group of like-minded players is just such a more enriching, I got tongue-tied, enriching and rewarding experience that I don't think you'll be sorry if you get in a good one. So if you're interested in joining a guild that has a plan and a purpose and a direction as far as how we're going to hopefully help the gameplay experience be the best that it can be for you all, think about joining me. Let me know. Look in the description of my video for a link to my Discord, and you can join my Discord and tell me that you're interested in Dune, and I will hook up with you and direct you to the area where we discuss Dune and where our guild hangs out and talks, and you can get to know us. Read our charter document that I've typed up that kind of outlines what our plans are, and see if maybe you think we're a good fit for you. And then if you decide that we are, then you can join up with us and roll in Dune Awakening. When we hit opening day and we hit those servers, we're going to try our best to join up as a group and have fun. And that's what it's all about, right? It's all about having fun. It's all about feeling that your play experience is rewarding and fulfilling. And I'm a nerd, man. I'm not gonna lie. I take my gaming experience very seriously. So even though I'm not one of those guys that's hardcore, you must do this, I'm gonna be really serious about making sure that I try to make the best experience for my players that I can. So that's the topic of this video. Why are guilds important in Dune Awakening? I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please think about subscribing and liking my content so that it can get pushed out to a wider audience. Obviously, I'm trying to grow, and those kind of things really help me. All the interaction that you guys give on my videos has been amazing. I'm so thankful for all of you that watch my content and take the time to put your thoughts down in the comments section, because I love reading the comments and interacting with you all. As you may have noticed, if you watch my content, I'm very active and I try to answer every single comment. If I grow too big, there may come a day when I can't do that. But right now, I am striving to be that person that lets you know that what you think is important to me. I really do appreciate you. Think about, if you like this content, think about hitting that bell too, so that you can be notified anytime I make Dune Awakening content, so that when I push out those videos, you'll know they're there and you can go watch them and hopefully find some stuff that you like. So I appreciate you being here today. Thank you for spending your time with me and watching my content. I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that you know that. I'll see you in another video about Dune Awakening coming soon. Have a good day. Peace.